What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm coming at you from the Loves in Junction City, Iowa, I-29, exit 35. Kind of to place it on a map, we are about 17 miles south of Omaha and Council Bluffs. I'm picking up in Omaha tomorrow morning, so this is a good staging area. There was none of these little places I like to hit in the area, so here I sit. What I want to talk about today is the mindset that you need to have going into training. Whether that's, CDL training at Prime, be it PSD or TNT or any of these companies. Because while I do believe that most of the trainers or trainees that go through the training process are excellent, a lot of times you hear about the ones that aren't, more so than the ones that are. And the same thing would go through or, apply to the trainers as well. Trust me, one of my trainers, my first trainer, was a bad trainer, and you hear about those more than you hear about the good ones. So let's talk about the mindset. Before I get into that, I want to talk about a couple people that, or let's say a few people that I know have gone through the training that had the right mindset. First of all, give a shout out to the Peruvian trucker. I followed him through his journey through PSD and TNT, and he had the right mindset. Just got off the phone with him the other day. And then a up-and-comer, Slime Pack Nation. She has a good following, even before she came to Prime, but she has a good following now, and she's one of those people that's a real YouTuber. She really does it up. And, I followed her through training as well, and she definitely had the right mindset. So those are those two, and then I got to throw one up to my referral. She trained with my boy Tim Travels, and she had the right mindset as well. You know who you are if you're watching this, and I'm sure that Terry knows who I'm speaking about as well. Now, when it comes to training, before I even got to Prime, I did a video and I said that this would be easy for me to just quit for whatever reason, So I had to go into this training like it was something that I had to accomplish. Not that I wanted to accomplish. I had to look at it like I was going into the Marines, because it would be easy for me to quit at any time. And as a matter of fact, there was a time that I was going through training, and I went through Salt Lake City. I did it on the pad, and, they'd have you out there on that pad, whether it was sun, sleet, or snow. And I think maybe they took that a little bit too hardcore, but whatever. Because you're out there all day. Back when I did it, they've softened up a little bit. But 7 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, regardless. And I remember getting on the phone with my wife, and I was telling her about this shit, and I remember her saying, I'm trying to do my best impersonation of my wife. We don't need this shit. And to be honest with you, if I hadn't put myself in that right mindset, I would be like, you know what? I really don't need this shit. And I think, I'm not one of these. Let me not say that. I am a proud Gen Xer. And, we look at ourselves as the best generation out there because we got a whole bunch of that work ethic and all that stuff from the baby boomer stuff. Maybe with a little bit of the millennial. Well, I'm an old Gen Xer though, so I'm more, baby boomer. But, we kind of have been the type to embrace the struggle. We don't try to skip the struggle, especially us earlier ones. And I think a lot of people that are going through training, from what I've been seeing, well, let me not say a lot. The ones that you would hear about, or I hear about, because I don't always hear about the success stories. But the nightmares I hear about are the people that have that entitlement issue going on. I watched a video. I couldn't even make it through the video, so I got so upset about it. But somebody talking about they thought that they were getting finessed or whatever. And I'm like, motherfucker, you just made $2,400 a month if that, 3 months ago, and now somebody's trying to finesse you. No, forget that. You know, but I heard about that, and then I heard about another story about a trainer's truck went down, and you know, so he needed to put his truck in the shop and get a hotel room, and the student was acting like he deserved his own hotel room. And I am telling you right now, that motherfucker right there, if he's on my truck, he's sitting in the bed right next to me, because I'm not getting a hotel room for a student that's willing to share a truck with me while we're on the road, but needs his own hotel room while the truck is down. That is not happening. So, one of the terms that I, mention a lot is you can't skip the struggle, and I've been lucky enough to where all my training, all my trainees understood that was my mindset. It, as bad as it sounds, somebody could be like, you know what? It's 108 degrees in Barstow, California, and this top bunk is hot. And it's like, better you than me. You got to put in them dues. And I don't think, that's the way I looked at it. And the reason I can say this, nobody can say that I don't practice what I preach. I put in 7 months in training voluntarily at Prime. So I spent as much or more time in that top bunk than anybody out there. So nobody can say that I'm asking them to do something that I haven't done. Or none of my trainees, and like I said, most of them had all of them, what am I talking about, had the right attitude. But I'm seeing or hearing of some that haven't. So if you're coming to Prime or going to Swift or wherever it is, humble yourself down and put yourself in the mind frame that this is something that you have to do, not that you want to do it. Nobody's trying to finesse you. If anything, from what I've been hearing, and luckily most of the people I hear about are still doing well. But if anybody is getting finessed, it's not the trainers. So mindset is everything. If you can't make it through training, chances are you are not going to be a successful truck driver. And trust me, when I watch some of these students that I'm of view as on the negative side, I will follow them throughout their trucking career. And a lot of times, some of those guys aren't in trucking, and some of those guys have been the type to bounce around, because that's their mindset. If things aren't right now, I'm going to leave and go to somewhere else. And I've seen a lot of that. It started with their trainer. I didn't have the right trainer. Then it wasn't the right company. Then that's not the right company. Then that's not the right company. Get yourself in the right mindset. Because if there was anybody, and there's a lot of people out there that don't need this, but they humbled themselves down. I could think of a couple off the top of my head. Rusty, my man Rusty, he came into this, he didn't need trusting. Lenny McGarvey, however you pronounce his last name. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. He didn't need this shit. But put themselves in that right mindset, humbled themselves down, and made it through. So that's going to be my advice to some of you guys coming in. And some of you guys shouldn't even need to get humbled down. Some of you guys should have already been humbled before you got into this shit. Just saying. So anyway, about to take some home time real quick. Got another truck coming in December. In a few weeks, I already got the call from Stripes and stuff that the truck's on its way in. So I know that's happening soon, so I wanted to take some quick time off before that. And then I know I had a few people, and hey, listen, Donnell, if you happen to be watching this, been putting in some good work on my baby. Take care of her. That is my baby right there, truck 272027. But I may have a truck coming up probably in that January, February, March area, somewhere in there. Not 100% sure if I am or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to run that truck myself or find somebody for it. But just keep that in the back of your mind if you happen to be not interested in being a lease owner yourself, or if you're coming from those states where you cannot lease and still want to do well yourself, because I believe that it's a good opportunity. Anyway, enough about that. Hey, I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Might get on a live when I get home. I didn't want to take too much time off when I get home, but I think I got a coolant leak, something like that, so I'm gonna at least maybe want to get my truck in the shop, and it may not be the best time to have trucks in the shop as far as getting them in and getting them out, but I gotta take care of the maintenance, so maybe home a little bit longer than I wanted. That being said, I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.